Hey everyone, welcome to Insights by Rish. In this video, we will be implementing insurance charge prediction project using linear regression algorithm. This is the dataset that we have. We have age, sex, BMI, that is the body mass index, number of children a person has, whether they are smoker or not, and the region they live in. The last feature is the charges feature, is our target feature, which we want to predict, and this is the historical data depending upon which we want to predict the insurance charge for the new incoming person. So let us start implementing this. We will import the pandas library first. We will give an alias PD, and then we will load the dataset in a df variable using the pd.read CSV feature. I'll provide the path on which my dataset is stored. Let us display the first 5 rows of the dataset. So this is the dataset that we have, and we want to predict the charges for the new incoming users. Let us check the shape of our dataset. Our dataset has 1338 rows and 7 columns. I don't find any unwanted columns here, so we aren't going to delete any columns. Let us check for the null values. There are no null values present in our dataset. As you can find, for every column the value is 0, which means no null values are present. The sum function is used in order to check the count of null values. If you don't provide this and you just provide df.isNA, then you will get an output in the form of binary. You can see either in the form of true and false. So this is the binary format, and you want to check the total count of null values in a particular column, and hence you provide the sum function. So our dataset has no null values. Fine, we are assuming that the dataset is clean. Moving ahead, what we'll do, we'll try to convert the categorical features into the numerical ones, starting with the sex column. Let us check the unique values of gender we have. So we will include that column, and let us check the unique values. So the values in the sex column are either female or male. As there are only 2 categorical columns, we are going to convert them using the map function. Let us create a gender map. This is the variable name of my dictionary. You can name it anything. So we will say that whenever it is female, whenever the value is female, assign the value 1 to it, and whenever the value is male, assign the value 0 to it. Now let us apply this function on the gender column. So we will include that column here, and then we will use the map function where we will include the gender map that we created. Let us display the first 5 rows again. Now as you can see, in the sex column, the values are now in the format of 0 and 1. That is, we have successfully converted our categorical values into the numeric ones. Next categorical column that we have is the smoker column. Let us check the unique values for smoker column as well. Depending upon the number of unique values it has, we decide which kind of library or which kind of feature we will use in order to convert our categorical value into the numeric ones. So again, this has only 2 unique values. We'll again use the map function. So this time we'll create a smoker map. So smoke map, and we'll include the dictionary, and we'll say wherever the value is 1, yes, we'll assign 1, and wherever the value is no, we will assign 0. Again, we will map that function onto the smoker column of the data frame. So including the smoker column, and we'll use the map function onto which we will map our dictionary smoke map. Okay, so yeah. Let us again display the first 5 rows. Now the smoker column as well, we have converted successfully into the numeric one. So the next categorical column that we have is a region. Let us check the unique values for region column. Let's check the unique values that we have in our region column. So here, now that we have 4 unique values, we aren't going to use the map function. We will be using the get dummies function from OneHot encoder, as we are having more than 2 unique values. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to create a new data frame of region data frame. We'll name that region_df, and then we will use pandas pd dot get dummies. We will include the column which we want to convert, and that's the region column. And then we'll write the first drop first true. I'll let you know the significance of this in few minutes. So now when I will be displaying the data frame region df, you can find one thing: the values here are in the binary format, true and false. But we don't want this one. We want it in the format of zeros and one, and hence we will explicitly convert its data type into it using the asType function. So we'll write asType and int. We are explicitly converting its data type. Now when you display, you will get the values in the form of zeros and ones. So one thing you can see, here we had 4 unique values for the region column: southwest, southeast, northwest and northeast. But now in this data frame we only have 3 columns and not the 4th one. So where did this 4th one vanish? This is because we use this drop first is equal to true feature, which means it drops only a one unique feature from the existing ones. Whenever the value of all the existing features in this new data frame is 0, in that case we consider that this particular row has the value for that deleted feature. For example, here we have northwest, southeast, southwest, and I think southeast, I think the northeast is the deleted column. So whenever you will have northwest 0, southeast 0, southwest 0, in that case you will assume that the person belongs to northeast, which is the deleted column. Now we have 2 different data frames and we need to merge them, we need to concatenate them, and hence we will create a new data frame which will name it as final df, in which we will use the pandas concatenate function, which is pd.concat, and we will provide the names of data frames in the format of list, which is df and region df. And as we are going to concatenate the columns, we need to provide access is equal to 1. If we are going to concatenate the rows, then we need to provide access is equal to 0. Here, as we are concatenating the columns, we will provide access is equal to 1, and let us display the first 5 rows. So now as you can see, we have successfully converted the region column into the individual northwest, southeast, southwest in the form of zeros and ones. So now that we don't need this categorical column region, and hence we will delete it. So what we are going to do, final df dot, we will use the drop function and we will provide the columns that we want to delete. So here we want to delete the region column, the original column that we want, and we want to make this changes permanent, and hence we will do in place is equal to true. If you don't, I think there's some, okay, there's misspelling. Yeah. So if you don't involve this in place is equal to true, then this changes would be made temporary and not permanent. Let us display again the first few rows. I think it's final df. Yeah. So now that we don't have this region column, and as you can see here, every column now has a numeric value and there are no categorical features present here. So that we have successfully converted all the categorical features into the numeric ones. The next step we are going to do is we are going to scale these values. When you do final data frame dot describe, describe is used to check the statistics of data set. So when we are going to, okay, this are missing. So this is the statistics of our data set, and when you change check the value for age, the minimum value is 18, the maximum is 64. For sex, it is just the minimum value of gender is 0, which is male, and the maximum value 1, which is female. You don't have any values in between because you just have 2 categories. If you check the value for charges, the minimum value is 1121 and the maximum value is 63,770. So you can find that every column is on a different scale, and whenever your every column is on a different scale, then that the performance of your model degrades, and hence you want to bring every column on one standard single scale, and for that we will be using min-max scaler. So from sklearn dot preprocessing, you would be importing min-max scaler. Now what this min max scalar does is it either converts your value between the range of 0 to 1, not lesser than 0, not greater than 1. So let us create an object for min max scalar. So we'll name it scalar, which is the object of min max scalar. This is the scalar that we have created, and now we will be fitting it into our column. So let us fit it into our data frame. Okay, so the name is final data frame. Fine. Ignore this error. So the model here, you can see this blue section, we have successfully fitted the min max scalar function. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to transform it. So final data frame, then I will use scalar dot transform the final data frame. Again, ignore the error. Let us display the data frame, the first 5 rows of the data frame. This is it. Here you can see, in the previous one we had the values greater than 0, and after scaling it we have the values between 0 to 1. Now one thing you can notice here, why we included this square brackets with colon, is because if you don't include this, then in that case your output, the transformed values, will be stored in the form of arrays and not in the form of data frames. This is the data frame, and we want these values in the form of this data frames. Only we can then process it. If you don't include that, it will consider the final df variable as an array variable, and it will store the transformed values in the form of an array, and then you again convert it into data frame, which is a very hectic job. So now that we have converted this, I think we are done and we are good to go. Next thing we are going to do, we will be dividing this data set into the input and target feature. So our input feature is everything except the charges. So in the input feature, which in X is our input feature, and this input feature we are going to include every column except for this charges one. So we'll drop only that column for the input. Let us do final df dot drop, and column is equal to charges. Let us check our input data frame. This is our input data frame, everything apart from charges. And the next thing that we are going to do is we will set the target feature, which is our charges, and let us display the charges feature. So here you can see the input data frame was in the form of a data frame, and the target feature is in the form of arrays, and it's okay, it's fine, it's in the form of a series. You just require, it's a condition that you require your input data in the form of a data frame, but the target feature can be anything, data frame or series. Now that we have divided, we will do train test split. From model selection library, we will import the train test split. This is just to divide our data set into the training set and the testing set. So we'll include the xtrain, first all the x feature, that is xtrain xtest, and then ytrain ytest. After that we will perform this train test split, into which we will include our input column x, target feature y, and we'll get the test size 0.2, which means 80% of data will be stored in training set and 20% of data will be shifted to the testing set. Next we will be giving the random state is equal to 42, which means we want same number of rows included in the training and testing set when we rerun the same code. And after running that, let us check the shape of this. I'll just copy paste it here, and we will be checking the shape. We want to check how many rows are included in the training set and how many are in the testing set. So here you can see, I think we had some 1338 rows, and from that 1070 rows are now present in the training set and 268 rows in the testing set. So now next thing we are going to do is our core concept of this video. We will be training the linear regression model. So from sklearn.linear model, we will be importing linear regression, and then we will create a model of linear regression. the plain model. We don't need to provide any hyperparameters here. And then we will fit this model into the training set, the X train and the Y train. Okay. Again, ignore the warning. If you don't want this warning, what you can do here is, one thing you have to do, you have to import the warnings and then warnings dot filter warnings. Just write ignore there. Yeah. And now when you rerun, the warnings are vanished. So you have fitted your model. Next thing as you are going to do, so it's successfully done. Let us do some predictions. Now let us store the values in our ypred variable. So model dot predict x test. Let us check what were the original values. The original values are stored in the ytest, in the testing set. These are our original values. We will display only first 5 values. So these are our original values stored in the form of ytest. And I think we have also transformed the test variable, the target variable, between 0 to 1 range. What you can do here in this entire thing, if you don't want your main charge in the form of 0 to 1, you want it in a actual form, you can what you can do, you can do this feature, this thing that you did before the min max scalar function somewhere here, and then instead of doing it on our entire data set, we will just perform it on x. Fine. X, and again here x. We will display that. We'll restart and run all the functions again. Fine. Now you can see the charges that we have are in the form of actual charges, that is 9,000, 5,000 and all those, and we don't have any more the values in the form of zeros and ones. So these are the actual values. Let us check what our model has predicted, which are stored in the ypred variable. We'll again check the first 5 values. So here you can see the actual value was 9,095, and our model has predicted it to be 8,969. Original value was here 5,272. Our model predicted it to be 7,068, and here it was 29,000. So here's some high variance. Here our model has predicted it to be 36. So we have successfully did the predictions. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to evaluate. So for that we will include from sklearn.metrics. You will import the mean absolute error. You can also import the mean squared error. I think it is here. And we can also do RMSE. I will let you know how we can do that. So first we will do mean absolute error, and we will provide the original value which is stored in ytest, and the predicted value which is stored in ypred. So this is our mean absolute error. You can perform some optimization and regularization in order to reduce this value. Our goal is to reduce this mean absolute error. Next we will check for mean squared error, and we'll again pass the ytest and ypred. So this is our mean squared error. We can also evaluate the model using the root mean squared error, and for that we will import numpy as np, and then we will be using something like this, np dot square root of mean squared error. So we will pass this here. So this is our root mean squared error. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching.